My name's Miles, and today I'm going to be showing you the way that I find really cheap flights.
Okay, so we have come over here to Google, and we're going to go to our old friend Google Flights. And now a lot of people probably know about Google Flights already. It's a pretty well-known website to find flights, but I'll show you exactly the process that I go through to find them. So here you have your destination or where you leave from, and this is your destination. A lot of people don't know you can come to this little plus and add multiple airports. So I already have Sarasota in there, and it's best to add as many as you can for this. So, and bigger the better usually, because you'll get better flight prices. I'm gonna add Orlando, because that's one of the biggest ones near me. I'm also gonna add Miami. I'm in Florida. And I throw in Fort Myers as well, because that's another one that's close-ish. And we'll just do 4 for now, but you should search for as many as you can. We have it set for round trip, 1 passenger, and economy. And we're not gonna enter destination, because we're gonna be flexible on our destination and on the time. And those are 2 big factors for finding really, really cheap flights. Here we are, and we're gonna come to time, and you can set, if you have a specific time that you need to go, it will find cheap flights for you. But the cheapest way to find flights is come over to flexible dates, and we're gonna say a 2-week trip. Hit done, and we're gonna zoom out a little bit and scroll over to Europe. And let's see how cheap we can make our way over to Europe. And once you're in Europe, I mean, the big expense would be getting there. So the ability to travel once you're there, you could fly somewhere you don't necessarily want to go and travel somewhere else that's way more expensive. Sometimes you kind of have to scroll around a little bit because it won't bring up results, and then you have to zoom in. It's populating some prices. That's kind of expensive. Like, that's partly what most people think it costs, about $1,280 to get to Europe. But as you can see, this one comes up as $286, and that's crazy cheap. And look, Helsinki over here for $281. Crazy prices. And you can't always 100% trust these. You have to check. So let's have a look at Oslo right now. And this is a round trip, mind you. So we're gonna click on view flights. Sometimes it does this. You gotta be careful. You can't always trust these Virgin Atlantic ones, because they might be an accident, or like might have accidentally put it in. Yeah, because when you click on it, it comes up as 529. And Virgin Atlantic usually isn't the cheapest. But I can tell you that Icelandic Air and Norwegian are usually the cheapest. So this is a 1-stop from, to Oslo from Orlando. And that's pretty awesome. And that's $325 round trip to get to Europe. So even if you're not trying to go to, Oslo, you can get to Paris or Western Europe or wherever you want to go so easily once you're there. And it's just insanely cheap, rather than booking a $2,000 flight to, say you wanted to go to London, which actually cheap flights to London are not too hard to come by. But anyway, if you click on that, it'll bring you up, and you can select which website you want to book through. You can usually either book through airline itself, or a Google flight thing, or a TripAdvisor. You can book through different ones if you prefer to use those. There's another really, really useful tool here that will help you narrow down your search. I think if we go back one more, yes, here we go. I really like this one. Price graph. Say you want to leave, maybe you want to stay an extra day. You really need to stay for the 26th because you got something big going on. It'll show you the prices of everything. This is the cheapest day, and that's why I selected it. But look, the next day, you could leave a day later and do the same 14-day trip, same price. But if you wait 3 days or 2 days later than the original date, it's going to be $338. And then up here, it goes all the way crazy up to $617, which realistically is still not a bad price to get to Europe for a round trip. But we're looking for the cheapest flights we can. Another thing is these little plus and minus buttons. You can add or subtract a day. Let's see, that might change the price dramatically, or it might not at all. Yeah, so you get an extra day for the same price if you want to. You can add it all the way to 25-day trip if you've got a lot of time off, and that might drastically change price. It did bring it up quite a bit, but it's still pretty dang cheap to get to Oslo. I mean, and I really want to go there. I might have to book this. Let's see, even if a 4 or 5-day trip, you don't have a lot of time to travel, but you want to. So you can play around with that and change it up and then select different days. So that's definitely something to look at. You can see these days are more expensive. So if you have a 10-day trip, you can scroll along and check out where's the cheapest. And that's a great tool. I've used it several times. I don't know if I mentioned that sometimes Google will, it'll hook you up with It'll say round trip, but it will give you 2 direct flights, so like a direct flight from Orlando to Oslo, or and a direct flight back. So essentially it's a round trip, but it just shows up as 2 separate tickets as direct flights. Yeah, so you get the gist of how to use the price graph. Really useful tool. Let's take a look at some other places and see what kind of prices they are. Back at the main map, I'm gonna scroll around a little bit. Let's see, we're over here in Spain and France. Sometimes it does populate it with the wrong prices, so you do have to check. Like, wow, Valencia, oh my gosh, Madrid for $293. Wow, look at this. These prices are insane. But these ones might be, I don't know, they seem a little bit too good to be true. See, I'm just skeptical of the Virgin. Yeah, so, but still, I bet this one's real. And yeah, that one looks like it is real. Is it populated with the correct price? So it's something to look out for, but like I said, it's worth clicking on. It only takes a couple seconds. Let's see what kind of prices London are. I'm sure lots of people want to check out England, a beautiful country. 318. So yeah, it didn't come up as 318, but again, Virgin Atlantic, Delta, $357. Oh, it did go up. So it did go up a little bit. So let's check. Now, Norwegian always seems to be the correct one, and Norwegian and Icelandic Air, and like, well, Wizz Air is more within Europe, but they're so cheap, it's insane. There we go, so this one worked. $374 to London. You can't beat that, that's awesome. And you might have to have an economy seat, and you might have to, you know, not take a stowage bag with you, or not reserve your seat, or skip dinner, but it doesn't matter. For $374, you can get to Europe. It just brings you to the website and you enter your information, and it's as simple as that. It does it all for you. I go really cheap because, I don't know, I like to be cheap and it's fun and I can travel more that way. But definitely, I just hope this video helps somebody find a cheap flight if they thought it was never possible for them to be able to travel outside of the United States, because it's so expensive to get to Europe. It's really not. Like, you can even get to China for pretty cheap. I've seen some good flights to Beijing before, and Shanghai as well. Japan is usually quite expensive. 715 to Tokyo is it's not bad really. I mean, it's a pretty long flight. There we go. Under $500, you can get to Beijing round trip. Let's make sure that it is correct. We go 477, Air Canada. You got 1 stop. I mean, you have to be sometimes willing to take a night flight or fly early in the morning or just weird times, but it doesn't matter to me. I like flying. So it's a 17-hour flight. You know, it might not be the most luxurious. $477 to get to Beijing. An incredible city, and you can visit Asia. Just something that was never available before. It'll bring you right to the website. And yeah, it looks like these ones are actually all real round trips. Sometimes they are one-way flights and you have to book 2. Pretty awesome. Right on the website, right there. 476 total to China. I think that's about everything I have to say. All my tips. Well, hey, thanks guys for watching. I really hope this helps maybe some new travelers like get an idea of how to find the cheapest way to get to Europe, or any part of the world really. It's just awesome to be able to get out and explore and travel, and that's the way that I've been able to find to do it. There's other websites like Skyscanner that some people really like. I like Google Flights. I just find it easy to use with that big map. You can search for everything really easily. All right, thanks for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope this helped you, and if it did, I'd really appreciate a like, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in any travel videos that I've done. I have a video on my travels to Sweden and also Budapest, and that flight to Sweden I got using this exact method for only $300, so you really can't beat that.